After 15 years, my world came crashing. I've been married to a woman many would call perfect. Grace, beautiful, loyal, smart, and endlessly caring. She was my peace, my pride, and my home. But even the strongest homes can crumble when built on hope alone. 5 years into our marriage, we were still childless. My wife went for a full medical checkup and returned with a clean bill of fertility. Everything is fine, the doctor said. But me? I didn't bother. I believed I was fit, strong, healthy, and fully capable of fathering a child. After all, men like me don't have fertility issues. Or so I thought. 2 more years passed. No sign of pregnancy. The silence in our home became louder with each passing day. Then came a suggestion, one that felt like an escape. A friend of mine, over a few drinks, said, "Why not try with another woman, just to be sure it's not from your side?" As foolish as it sounds now, in that moment, it made sense. I didn't hesitate. I began seeing a lady I already knew. 6 months into our friendship, she called me with news that set my heart racing. She was 2 months pregnant. That day felt like heaven. I was thrilled finally. I was going to be a father. But I didn't tell Grace. I knew what she was capable of. Despite all her sweetness, she had a fire I didn't want to ignite. I buried the secret, continued loving her, and raised our home with a growing smile, built on a crumbling truth. Grace remained the loving wife, and I played my role, all the while sneaking off to be with the mother of my child. But as fate would have it, secrets have a way of digging themselves out. One evening, Grace confronted me. "Is there something you're hiding from me?" I swallowed hard. "No," I lied. "Why would you think that?" She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just stared at me, those eyes, full of questions, pain, and something else I couldn't place. "I heard something," she said, "about a woman named Mercy and a child." My heart stopped, but I denied everything. I swore with the same mouth I used to say I love you. That night, I saw something I had never seen before, the full wrath of a calm woman. Her silence was louder than thunder. Still, she didn't leave. She didn't curse. She simply went quiet and colder. Unknown to me, my wife had gone behind my back to have my sperm analyzed. She took a sample without my knowledge and sent it to a fertility lab. The results? I had an extremely low sperm count. Practically 0 chance of impregnating a woman. But Grace never told me. She kept the truth hidden for years, and somehow, during that time, she had 4 children. Children I had believed were mine. Children I thanked God for. Children I loved with everything in me. Until the day the truth came out. It started with my second son. He fell seriously ill and required a blood transfusion. Without hesitation, I volunteered. But then the doctor called me aside. "I'm sorry," he said. "You're not a match for your son." I was confused, shocked. A storm of questions swirled in my head. A chilling thought crossed my mind. I asked the doctor to run a DNA test on all 4 children. I had to know. Days later, the results came in. None of the children were biologically mine. None. Anger, betrayal, and heartbreak collided inside me like a hurricane. I drove straight to Grace's workplace, blinded by rage. I stormed into her office, shaking. "Who is the father of those children, Grace? Who?" She looked at me calmly, too calmly, and said, "Not here. Let's talk when we get home." Her composure made me feel like the villain in a movie I didn't even know I was in. At home, I repeated the question. My voice was no longer loud. I was too broken for that. She looked me straight in the eyes and asked, "Who is Mercy?" I staggered, stunned. She's just a friend." I lied again. "A friend that you have a child with?" She replied, her tone sharp, yet still frighteningly calm. That was the moment everything sank in. This wasn't just about betrayal anymore. This was a war of secrets, mine and her. I sat on the edge of our bed, head in my hands, heart pounding like thunder in a storm. Grace stood across the room, still as a statue, her face unreadable. "Who is the father of those children?" I asked again, this time with a trembling voice. She didn't flinch. She walked over, sat beside me, and said something that shattered me more than any scream could have. "I didn't plan for it to happen," she began softly, "but you left me alone in that marriage. I cried alone, prayed alone, waited alone. And when nothing changed, I stopped hoping." I turned to her, my lips moving, but no words coming out. She continued, "When I found out about your condition, your infertility, I kept quiet. I protected your ego. I protected you. Even after all that, you still stepped out of our marriage." My throat dried up. There was no justification for what I had done, but this wasn't about me anymore. "I asked a friend for help," she said, her eyes now wet. "A friend who offered to donate his sperm anonymously through medical means. I never cheated the way you did, but I couldn't keep dying in silence. I wanted to be a mother." Her words hit harder than betrayal. They carried disappointment, dignity, and a quiet pain I had never truly seen. "I gave you a family," she whispered, "because I thought it would fix us. I thought it would make you stay." I sat there, frozen. The reality of everything we had built together lay broken at our feet. Years of lies, desperate choices, and silent suffering. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked, barely above a whisper. "Would you have accepted it?" she replied sharply. "You couldn't even face the possibility that the problem might be yours. You never checked. You assumed I was the one delaying us." She was right. All these years, I let her carry the burden, while I secretly pursued validation elsewhere. And even when she was hurting in silence, she still chose to protect me. "I protected your pride," she said again, "and you betrayed mine." I didn't know how to respond. I couldn't even cry. My shame was too loud. "I don't regret my children," she added firmly. "They are mine. They are ours, in the way that matters most. But I regret staying silent for too long. And I regret believing that love alone could fix what we never had the courage to confront." I looked at Grace, not as the woman who betrayed me, but as the woman I had failed too. The next day, I visited Mercy and our child. For the first time, I looked at my son and saw not just a blessing, but the consequence of my cowardice. I had created a child out of selfishness, not love. And even though I cared for him, I knew I had to do better. So I thought. Now I stand at a crossroad with a woman I betrayed and who also betrayed me in a different way. We are both guilty, both victims, both bleeding. The question remains, can two broken people rebuild a home? Or are some cracks too deep for mending?